Hi you guys, my name is Stella Kittrell and today I am really excited to do a video on how I put my wedding together in 2 weeks. I had 13 days between the proposal and the actual day we got married, and I want to tell you how I did it, so let's get into the video.
Let's take this show on the road. Ish, different day, I be bored out my mind. Hometown, love my place, but while I'm in my prime.
A piece of shapewear that needs absolutely no introduction. This is the SKIMS Seamless Sculpt. This piece of shapewear is my favorite in my collection for one reason. It brings out curves on me that I didn't even know were hidden under there. And not only is this a fan favorite, but the reason I love it so much is because it's so comfortable. I feel like sometimes shapewear can be so uncomfortable, you don't want to wear it, it doesn't feel good. But this buttery fabric makes you want to wear this all day long. It's not often that you hear comfort and shapewear in the same sentence, but SKIMS has really knocked this one out the park. The seamless sculpt comes in many different colors. You can match your skin tone or have fun like I did in a different color. Not only is this shapewear super snatching, but it offers 3 buttons in the gusset so you can easily take this on and off. The seamless sculpt comes in a thong or a brief. I am personally a brief girly, and we love an adjustable strap to get the girls to sit exactly where you want to without wearing an additional bra. That is actually unheard of. Get the piece of shapewear that everybody is talking about and check out the SKIMS Seamless Sculpt today. I shocked a lot of people by getting married in secret on April 22nd, 2024. This was something that was really important for us to do, and to be honest, if it were up to my husband, we would have gotten married the day after he proposed. But I was very keen on core family being there. We always had a plan for a really big wedding in 2025. I knew getting engaged this year was part of his plan. We both had no idea we were actually going to be married. When the spirit led us, we did it, and I would not have had it any other way. The day was absolutely perfect, and I want to tell you, if you're in a similar situation or you find yourself in a situation where you feel convicted to be married and to join in union, how to do it. Now, a lot of people do choose to do an elopement ceremony over a wedding because it is much cheaper. It is actually an incredibly trendy thing to do right now. They're calling them micro weddings as well. There is an easier way to get married, and this video specifically is focusing on people who want elopement ceremonies with a wedding feel and not people literally just going to the courthouse. Although those questions will be answered in this video as well. So let's get into it. So firstly, when he proposed and he's like, can we literally go to the courthouse tomorrow? I had already known that wasn't a thing we could actually do. In your state, there will be different requirements on how long you have to wait to actually go get married. So that's why a lot of people run to Vegas, because you can get a marriage license literally immediately and then immediately get married, and it's a legal marriage, as opposed to a state like I live in, which is Maryland. You do need to wait 48 hours after receiving your marriage certificate, and the marriage certificate, you can only get it Monday through Friday. That's the first thing we did. So check your local state requirements. Marriage license should be the first thing you do. You want your marriage to be legal. You don't want to just show up to the courthouse like it's Vegas and then you're like, oh wait, we actually can't be married today, because I'm sure that happens a lot more than we think. So first thing we knew we had to do was get a marriage license. So I went ahead and made an appointment to go get the license. One thing that I thought was so exciting, like picking your courthouse. Here is the biggest misconception about courthouse weddings that I did not know. Once you have your marriage license, you are free to get married anywhere in the vicinity county of your license. Meaning, we didn't actually have to get married in the actual courthouse. Like, we didn't have to do that. I did not know that. Otherwise, I probably would have planned a little bit better. But I'm gonna tell you what we did do. You actually don't even need to get married in the county you live in, and you just need to go or call the court and tell them, hey, I live in this county, I want to get married in this county. What do we do? So the first thing I had done myself was I went to Reddit and I looked up courthouses to get married at in Maryland. Again, you can get married anywhere. We could have got married in Pennsylvania, in Virginia. We could have flown to Vegas. We could have went to New York City and got married. Like, you can get married anywhere as long as your marriage certificate is in the county that you are going to be married. So if you want to get married in the Poconos in the middle of nowhere, awesome. What county is that? That's the county you need to get your marriage license in. When I learned that information, I started Googling best courthouses in Maryland. And the reason we still stuck with Maryland is particularly my Nana. My Nana is very, very old and I wanted her to be involved in the day, or at least have the opportunity to come. So we had decided to do our elopement ceremony here, and then our wedding will not be in Maryland. I wanted her to have an opportunity to see her granddaughter be married. Yeah, do you guys have a garment bag? Or do I need to get one? just very considerate and mindful, very demure of my grandmother because I love her so much. And if you did not check out my wedding video, you can see how amazing and spunky and awesome she is.
It looks good.
There were 2 courthouses I was in between that are really beautiful. The one in Annapolis, gorgeous, and then the one we ended up getting married at. You see this just green and marble. So for convenience reasons and aesthetic, we ended up going with the courthouse that was closest to us. It just so happened to work out that way. Now back to getting married in the courthouse. Our courthouse was beautiful. It looked regal. It looked like just this beautiful marble expensive castle that was absolutely free. And if there's one thing you guys will learn from my channel, if you've never seen my content before, is I'm the most frugal person. I know how to do bougie on a budget. I know how to do extravagant with no money. I am the queen of that. I thrive in that department. And when I saw this courthouse, I saw the vision. I saw the pictures in my head. I saw the videos in my head, and it was absolutely free. Let me not lie, we had to pay for parking. It was like $2, but it was a free venue, and I thought that was great. And not only that, our courthouse was attached to a garden, and once I saw the garden attached to it, that's it. The catfishing of this courthouse is the actual place you get married is in an ugly courthouse behind that courthouse, but regardless, it's on the same property. So we got to do all the pictures and everything on this free grounds, which was perfect. Back to what I was saying in the beginning of this video, you don't need to get married in the actual courthouse. And if I would have known that, we would have planned just a little bit better. One, we would have had one of our pastors from church have advance notice so he would have been able to make it and marry us. And 2, we would have just got married on the free public grounds in the garden because it was free. Like, I don't know how else to say this. And if you're getting married in Maryland, in Baltimore, it's a free public, you pay for it with your taxes. You can just go and do a photo shoot and get married and do whatever on the grounds. You paid for it. Enjoy it. So that was awesome. And if I would have known that, I wouldn't have gone in the small room.
The contract of marriage is a most solemn one, and one not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and seriously, and with a deep realization of its obligations.
But there was something really, really Stella Williams, soon to be Kittrell, about going into a courthouse with my wedding gown and all my family there. It was just great. So let's talk about how many guests you're allowed to have in the courthouse. Again, different for your courthouse. This is just from our experience. These are questions you want to ask though. So we saw on the paper that you can only have 7 or 8 guests. And when we went to go do our application for our marriage certificate, it was 7 or 8 guests. I will tell you this, we saw a wedding party in there with like 30 people deep. So we kindly asked the lady like, hey, well they have like 30 and the paper says 7. She's like, no, the max is 7. We saw all those people risk it. So we're like, let's risk it too. The worst they can say is no, and they're not allowed to go in the room. They were packing the room so we couldn't see how big it was, but we were like, hey, we want our core family there, let's do it. Our final head count for the whole event was 25 guests total, but for this specific, it was really just core family. Moms, dads, step parents, grandparents, close cousins, close friends that are basically family, and aunts, uncles, like super tight knit, and then anyone who could make it. Now, because we did a courthouse wedding and wanted to be officiated by an officiant, we could only get married Monday through Friday during business hours, which was a little silly too. So that's something you also need to consider, especially if you plan on inviting people. We got married on a Monday, which was not very convenient. I originally wanted to get married that Wednesday, and then I was like, well, if we do Monday, people can just kind of take a long weekend from work if they're taking off of work. And there was only one person who was not able to make it, and that was my sister. And I remember I went on Canva and I made this template, and I was like, hey, we're getting married. Come join us, and please don't tell anybody. I didn't know when I was going to share this with the world. People know I do social media. I just didn't even tell people at church. I just got married in secret, and it was really important that we did that. Privacy isn't a problem when you shut up. So I just didn't say anything. I just got to enjoy the process without anything, and then I got to share it with the people I wanted to share it with most. You guys, whenever I felt like it was ready in time to. I'm gonna make a whole video because I have footage of me actually telling a lot of my family and friends that I'm getting married in 2 weeks, and it was not very pretty for the most part. Everyone thought I was pregnant, and it was stressful. Don't let people be joy stealers. you know? But I think the most beautiful thing about me and DeAndre is like, we just wanted to get married. And at the end of the day, that was our goal. So I don't care if I showed up in jeans. I did care who came, like 60% more than he did. He was literally like, let's go tomorrow. Don't tell anyone. Let's just go. I want to be married now. Like, we'll just tell everyone later. And I was like, I really do think that's a very important moment to share with our closest family. So let's not. And of course he was fine with it. So we told people, we're like, hey, we're getting married and we're getting married in 2 weeks. And it was such a shock to so many people. But like I said earlier, a lot of people were able to come except for one, you know, family. So that was perfect. I made this little Canva thing, like, shh, don't tell anyone. It was an invitation. And then I followed it up. Because again, this is like night 1 of being proposed to. I had no plans. I had nothing. I knew I wanted to do some kind of ceremony, and I knew I wanted to do some kind of dinner, whatever that was going to look like. And so day 2 was really rough, and I'll make a separate video on just like how I told my family and stuff. But day 2 was kind of hard because I'm ready to plan and just get this taken care of. Day 2 or 3, we went to the courthouse and got our certificate. So like we were ready to be married. But then, you know, it was hard at first to get my family's help because a lot of interesting colors were coming out, and it was really hard to navigate that and be so excited when so many people had so many opinions about what we were doing. To give you perspective without like spoiling that video, this experience was so ugly at first that one of my cousins who's about to get married, she's like, oh my gosh, I see how everyone's just like freaking out and asking questions, whatever. I'm just gonna tell people after I get married. And I was like, that's probably a good choice because it hurt a lot. And it was a decision I was so confident in, and I was ready to take this next step with my husband, and it hurt. People's opinions were over their availability to be there for me in that time, and it was very, very, very painful. It was hard for me to get excited. I was like, I had this high, and then it just crashed, and it just was so comforting because when I went home to my husband, and he had phone calls all day, I had phone calls all day, and at the end of the day, he was like, I got you. Like, we've got this. It's me and you at the end of the day. And he was so supportive about that. He was like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, this is our life. It was just really important. He was just a really good pillar in support because that was really hard. Woo! So day 3, things got a little bit better. I started to think about the fun things. I had 2 aunts that were so supportive, the most supportive, pretty much from the jump of like, all right, this is what we're doing. We got to start talking details. Now my family is so much fun. They're like, are you doing a big wedding? What's going on? And I did reiterate the entire process to my family I chose to involve. We're still having a big wedding. So like, let's not do too much this wedding. We're not even doing a registry. We're doing nothing because we are planning this big wedding. So like, I don't want to do all of it. I just want a really nice celebration and something really memorable. So the first of the 2 weeks before my wedding, I really had a lot of decisions to make about what the budget was, what was super important. And then coming from a Mexican family, everyone is very like hands-on, and typically what we see happen with any kind of function, birthday party, quince, wedding, whatever, someone usually offers to donate one thing. So if someone's like, I'm gonna donate the DJ or donate the dress or donate the photographer, whatever, that's kind of like culturally what happens, and is what happened with this elopement ceremony. So as you guys who do follow me know, I did end up getting my wedding dress from a brand called Eloquy. We all know Eloquy. I don't know why I said it like that. But Eloquy had literally dropped bridal the same day I looked for wedding dresses, and I just shot my shot. I was like, hey y'all, I don't know if you can keep a secret, but I will like basically do UGC content. I'll trade you images and stuff for a dress. And they were so excited. They like proposed even better terms, and it was such a nice gift from them because again, I would have wore jeans. It would have been fine, but I ended up getting to pick a dress. Now the dress I really wanted was sold out at the time, but I'll put it in here anyway because I need you guys to see it. But the dress I ended up getting, I loved because it was 2 in 1. I knew it was Courthouse, but my style is not like just because the situation is basic I'm going to be. So I did not want a simple dress. I was like, I need to stay true to who I am. I'm gonna just do it right. So I got a train dress, and the skirt removed to reveal like a gown underneath, which I ended up wearing to our reception. So the dress was like one of the first things to be taken care of. And I sat with myself, I said, Stella, what is the most important thing besides like family coming? Like, what do you need for this wedding day? And for myself, photography, videography, some kind of congregation so we could eat afterward were like my top 3. We were looking at like doing a cookout at my mother-in-law's house and like this whole thing. And then we had a family member step in and was basically like, you know, we're gonna cover a dinner. Like, where do you want to have dinner? And it was so nice because there are a couple places in Baltimore that are pretty affordable to do group catering. But the places I wanted were really, really expensive, and I was like, it just doesn't seem worth it. And then our mother-in-law's house has a gorgeous home, and so we're like, we could just do like a charcuterie pre-party there or something. And then when the family members stepped in, there were 2 places it had to be, and one of them was Ampersea, which is where we ended up having it, and the other one was this restaurant called Omora, which is also so beautiful. Why I love Ampersea is, again, I'm gonna be bougie on a budget. Instead of renting a whole place out, we got married on a Monday. Who's in Ampersea? No one. We ended up getting the whole restaurant to ourselves just coincidentally, but it wasn't coincidentally. It was my brain thinking, because the restaurant is so small, it's like one big square. And when we got there, there was nobody inside. It was a beautiful day, so people were sitting outside, right? There were like 2 people. It's like 4 o'clock on a Monday. Like, no one's going to Ampersea. That's a nighttime place. And I was like, oh, this is good. Literally, we had the entire restaurant to ourselves. Now, we were going to book the upstairs room, but the upstairs room was like Western country, and I'm like, I'm literally not in Texas. I don't want to do that. But the downstairs is so gorgeous. It's airy, it's open, it's Ampersea. It feels like water, it feels like vacation. It's exactly what I wanted. And when we booked it, I was like telling my family, they're like, I really think we should get the private room upstairs. I really think we should do that. And I was like, trust me, no one is going to be there. We are good. And the back wall only sat 25 people, and that's how many people I had at my party. I said, I think we should risk it. Trust me, no one's going to be there. And no one was there. So we got the whole place to ourselves. It was awesome. Lodging, like, what are we going to do, right? We didn't go on a honeymoon. We're not going on a honeymoon yet. We were gifted a few honeymoons, which we think we're going to take next year, because we weren't going on a honeymoon immediately. His mom and stepfather got us like a hotel room that was coincidentally walking distance from the restaurant. So at the end of the night, we literally got to walk from the restaurant to the hotel, and it was beautiful. We stayed at the Canopy in Baltimore. It was so nice. She got us like top floor view, king suite. Like, it was just so beautiful. I can't believe I got married in Baltimore. That's even more of a like, whoa.
Tell them what God said.
What did God say? Oh yeah, and I forgot when God was like, when I moved here, and I even put this in my videos before, God was like, I was crossing the line from Virginia to Maryland with my ex in my U-Haul. And God told me as soon as I crossed the line, the father, in this order, he said, the father of your children and your husband is here. And I looked to the left, and I looked at my ex, and I laughed because I was like, God, he's right there. And God was just silent.
One.
Babe, I almost put that in my vows. I don't think you understand. I definitely almost put that. One. Oh, God's so good. But that was taken care of. We knew we were going to stay somewhere afterward. We weren't going to go home, but that was helpful, right? Like I said, people usually just like pitch in something, and that was his mom's contribution, and it was wonderful. Now, things I did not care about that people were trying to offer me were like the something old, something blue, like all the traditional stuff. For my elopement ceremony, I genuinely did not care about that. I was like, that can wait till the wedding. Like, all the traditions can wait. My goal right now is to be married to the love of my life. That's all. So y'all, I'm down to do, I want to do all the wedding stuff, the bridal showers, the bachelorette parties, everything. I want to do it all, but I want that to come for my wedding, like when we celebrate this thing, right? And so I had to like politely say, I'm okay, thanks, or just say yes, and then they kind of caught the vibes and didn't end up doing those certain things. But less tradition, the better. I just wanted to stay as stress-free as possible. Photographer, videographer. This was tough. If you guys don't know, videographers for weddings and anything is so expensive. Photography, all of it is just so stupid expensive for weddings. It's like the moment you say wedding, they're upcharging you like 5 times. And I had so many issues, and I finally went to my favorite photographer. She is super poppin' though, and she's Baltimore based, but she's shooting for like Chris Brown now and JT and all these people. She's never in Baltimore anymore. And that day she was shooting for Chris Brown and she wasn't in town. I was like, oh my gosh, but girl, like, I need you. And she's like, I have a friend who is my style of photography. I know you're gonna like him, just trust me. And it quite literally saved the day. He was the perfect photographer we could have asked for. Perfect. It was my vision. It was everything. He was like, what's your mood board? I went on Canva and did a mood board. I made sure to include pictures that he's already taken so he knows my energy. It was amazing. The only thing I regret is I did not get any pictures of me and DeAndre, or me by myself or him by himself. But we're one. DeAndre, I can hear him now. But we're one. It don't matter. But at the courthouse, I didn't get any pictures. And I also didn't have him at the reception. So it was just to get formal pictures. That was important. So we booked him for 2 hours. So he got pictures of like us actually getting married, and then, you know, all the group family photos outside. Especially my dad. So the people that came in from out of town were my dad and my mom.
Oh, she changed the whole notebook.
Okay. So I changed it, which is
Hi. Hey cousin. What you got to say about your cousin getting married?
Do we have enough
Fair.
cider in that room?
Yeah. So that was really special. So I wanted to make sure I got pictures with everybody, and my grandma came in from out of town as well. So that was really important to me. And then I guess some like petty family drama, like some people just chose not to be in the pictures, which really hurt. And I was just talking to my aunt about this the other day. Like that really, really hurt me. And people just made some bold choices on my wedding day. Like it's not about them. So that's just wedding drama. So the videographer, I ended up going with a content creator over a videographer. The footage was everything I asked for. It was crisp, it was clean, it was all shot on iPhone, which I'm fine with. And for my wedding, I don't know. I feel like I'd have a videographer, but I do, like, I know I've talked about my wedding before. I do want to live stream it. I don't know if I want to live stream anymore, but I do want it recorded. And it's just so beautiful. I love watching YouTubers' wedding videos. I think they're gorgeous. And I would like to put something like that together for myself. But yeah, we went with Amaniola and it was beautiful. Like she did a really good job. It was exactly what we paid for. And it was a little bit cheaper than wedding videography. So that really truly worked out. But it was a lot of like clips, which is great. But they did make sure to get our vows completely. At this point, I had everything I needed taken care of. Videographer, photographer, where are we gonna eat? And my family can come into town. Cool, we have all that, great. Like that was enough for me. Everything after this was extra. Like my wedding dress was extra. DeAndre's outfit was extra. We ended up getting his outfit off like Fashion Nova. And then like my earrings, everyone loves, they were Fashion Nova. I just wanted to be married. It just didn't matter. The last week was a lot more chill. Like I was just so ready to be married. I think the week before I got married, I was just shooting content. Like I was just back to normal and everything was normal. I was shooting content, posting like nothing was happening, and back to like my normal life a little bit, making sure everyone's affairs were in order. But the first week, just literally planning it really all in 1 week and just getting all my ducks in a row was great. I think the total cost of everything came out to around $5,000. We paid around $500 for our portion of the wedding, which is great. I would do it again, and this time I would go through the pain of telling people again, because at the end of the day, it meant so much to me that they were there, regardless of their opinions. Like it felt really good to have my family there and to ignore their drama they were creating and just be in love and have all these people in a room who would usually only be in a room together at a funeral. It was really, really special. And then after the wedding, we got all of our videos back literally like within 24 hours, because again, it was a content creator instead of a videographer, so that we just got sent everything. And then the edits, I'm very particular, my editing, this is what I do, so I didn't choose to use their edits, but I did have everything, and I have so much footage to share with you guys. Like that's what we paid for. We had everyone get dressed. That's something else that was really beautiful. So the day of, I wanted that like bridal moment for myself in the morning, so everyone came to my aunt's house and we ate bagels. I got bagels for everyone. All the girls were here. We were all getting our hair done, makeup flowing. Like it was like the most perfect morning. I was so chill, except for my vows. I felt so much pressure to write my vows. Like I'm seriously so glad I have over a year to write my vows again, because my vow renewal.
I tell the vlog what's going on. I'll tell them.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. She's locked in. We're printing vows. We're steaming the dress. It's happening. We're locked in.
Not 4 minutes before we need to leave though. We're gonna
Yeah, well.
That's what happens though.
Someone is getting married today.
Because I was so stressed out about these vows. It's like, how do you articulate love to somebody? Like I could show you. It's like finding the words to articulate how you feel about someone is just so intense. And I'm calling him. He's like, oh yeah, I finished my vows last night. I'm like, what? So that was probably the most stressful thing about the vows. And then getting to like all the little nitty gritty things. Think about how you're going to get to the courthouse or wherever you're getting married and back home. Who's taking you? If you want to do a black car, like what's the vibes? And then how are you getting to like your dinner, your reception, whatever you're doing. And the cake. Oh my gosh, how could I forget the cake? Our cake was gifted to us, but it was only $30. I don't know how I ran across this video on TikTok, but there was a video of this Walmart cake. It was beautiful. They're like, oh yeah, this one cost me $30. I went to Walmart. She's like, cool, I can do it, $30 for a huge cake. Like if you need a birthday cake, get the Walmart cake. I had a Walmart cake for my wedding. It was awesome. It was so good. And they mixed the cream and the strawberry filling in the middle. They weren't supposed to do that, but they did. The cake was perfect and it was $30. Awesome. Again, we didn't do any registry. We're going to save that for our big wedding. We have a lot of goals of what we want to do. in our life, and we've been working really, really hard on them. So for us, it was really important for this not to cost us a lot of money, and we were willing to kind of forfeit it for like the greater good of our goals right now, because we've just made a lot of progress, and I would 100% recommend this. It just felt so good to be married and under covenant and together legit, and it was just so beautiful. So if you don't have people around and you're like, I just want to get married, I would just stick to the basics, what's important to you. You can grab a bouquet of flowers at Trader Joe's for like $9.99. Or I think they actually have a bouquet already made for like $12.99. Don't feel the pressure to like need an $800 dress. Like it's just a $2,800 dress. You don't need it. At the end of the day, if you just want to get married, like keep that the focus, and it'll be so stress-free. Again, it took us a week to schedule and plan and get everything in place. Week 1, week 2 before the wedding was so relaxing, and the night before my wedding, I stayed with my mom and my grandma at their hotel. It was just amazing. So I definitely happy this is how we ended up doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will make my video more in depth on like how to handle your family's reactions when they may not agree with you getting married. I think it's really, really important because it was very heartbreaking at a very joyous time in my life, and I want to help you guys navigate it because it was unexpected. I really didn't expect that kind of like negativity at first, and how to keep plowing through that to just keep focusing on your special day. So I will talk to you really, really soon. Thank you again, Skims, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.